SCP-432 Expedition 1. Date: Expedition Supervisor Dr. T.S. Subject is D-64502, male, average physique. Subject's background shows history of aggravated assault and burglary. Subject is equipped with standard mission equipment pack sent into SCP-432. Camera is activated and subject enters SCP-432. The door is held open by a 3-kilogram weight placed inside the doorway, with technicians on hand to remove the weight and close the door if required. Camera activates, showing a short corridor constructed from the same rusted, corroded metal as the exterior of SCP-432. The floor is formed from ridged safety steel, as might be found on industrial walkways or gantries. The corridor makes a 90-degree turn to the right, approximately 5 meters ahead of the subject. Control asks the subject to move around the corner. Subject moves forward as requested, turning the corner into a longer tunnel, the exact length of which cannot be judged due to lack of lighting. A conventional electric bulb on the wall lights the immediate area, but the light fails to illuminate much beyond 3 meters. Further lights can be observed ahead, though they only illuminate patches of the tunnel. Control instructs the subject to turn on his torch, and the lighting is notably improved to the limit of the torch's beam, approximately 20 meters. Control asks the subject to proceed down the tunnel. After approximately 42 meters, a crossroad appears in the tunnel. D-64502 asks Control which way to go, and Control tells the subject to pick a tunnel. The subject chooses to go left, and before entering the new tunnel, produces a stick of marker chalk from the equipment pack and draws a large arrow on the wall, indicating the direction of the exit. As subject moves into the new tunnel, Control notes that video quality has begun to degrade, with visible interference appearing on the monitors. Control does not inform the subject of this. Subject proceeds down new tunnel for 11 meters before tunnel T-junctions left and right. Subject takes the left tunnel, again marking the direction back to the exit with chalk, and continues onwards. Subject walks approximately 5 meters down the tunnel, then stops and asks Control if they heard anything. Control replies they did not and asks what D-64502 heard. Subject is quiet, as if listening, then replies in muted tones they can hear someone banging on the wall in the distance and shouting. Subject becomes agitated and tells Control the person sounds fucking scared. Control boosts audio gain on the subject's camera and pick up sounds similar to the subject's description. Repetitive, distant banging consistent with someone striking a metal surface with their arm or hand. The voice can be detected, but audio quality is not sufficient to discern words. Subject is becoming increasingly agitated by the sounds. Control informs the subject to move in the direction of the shouts. The subject objects, but after a short discussion with Control about the nature of his employment, he moves forward. After approximately 14 meters, the tunnel turns 90 degrees right and angles downwards in a gentle slope. Video interference is now notably increased, and slight audio interference is now audible. Subject has begun breathing heavily and muttering under his breath. Subject continues down the tunnel for approximately 27 meters until the floor levels out again. The subject abruptly stops, crouches, and swears. Control asks why he has stopped. The subject remains silent, but breathing has become louder and heavier. Control asks again why the subject has stopped, and D-64502 replies he heard a scream, and that the banging and shouting has suddenly stopped. Control informs the subject to stand and move forward, but the subject becomes agitated and demands to be allowed to leave. After several minutes arguing, the subject stands, takes a long drink from one of the bottles of water, and moves forward again, although slowly. Ahead, the tunnel T-junctions left and right, and Control tells the subject to go right. Subject marks the way back to the exit with chalk and goes right. The tunnel ends at a dead end after 6 meters. Control informs the subject to go back to the junction and take the left tunnel. This too ends in a dead end after only 4 meters. Subject seems to have calmed slightly and suggests returning to the previous T-junction and trying the other tunnel. Control confers with Doctor, who decides to recall the subject and analyze the data collected so far. The subject has been within SCP-432 for exactly 37 minutes at this point. Control informs the subject to return. The subject moves back through the tunnels, following his chalk marks toward the exit. At Crossroads, the subject freezes again and asks Control if they heard a noise. Control confirms that they are detecting a sound but requests D64502 explain what he is hearing. Subject identifies the noise as wind. At this point, the camera captures a small drift of what appear to be dead leaves blown from the right-hand unexplored tunnel. Subject remarks that the breeze smells stale. Control informs the subject to collect several leaves for analysis and then proceed down the right-hand tunnel to locate their source. Subject collects leaves and complains about orders to remain in SCP-432 but moves towards the tunnel mouth. As subject nears the tunnel entrance, a loud, echoing roar is heard over the audio, similar to a large animal such as a bear or lion. Subject panics, screams, and runs for the exit, ignoring Control's demands to investigate the sound. Subject sprints to the exit and collapses in the storage area. Expedition is aborted, the door closed and locked, and subject removed for debriefing.